Welcome to For Loops in Python. Introduction to For Loops. A for loop allows you to repeat a block of code a specified number of times. This is useful for iterating over a range of values or collections. Because it repeats a set number of times, it is known as definite iteration. In contrast, while loops are indefinite, as they continue until a condition is no longer met. Here, we see a common structure for a for loop in Python. The loop uses the range function to generate a sequence of numbers from 0 up to, but not including, 5. For each value in this range, the variable I takes on the value, and the print function outputs it. This produces the following output: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This shows that the for loop repeats exactly 5 times, providing each value in the specified range, making it a reliable way to perform definite iteration in Python. The importance of indentation. Indentation in Python determines which statements belong to a loop or conditional. Only indented lines are considered part of the loop and are repeated each time the loop runs. In this example, we first print before the loop. This statement is not indented, so it runs once before the loop begins. Next, the for loop repeats twice, as specified by range 2. Inside the loop, 2 statements are indented. One prints the current loop value, and the other prints a message. Because they are indented, both statements execute with each loop iteration. After the loop, we print after the loop. This statement is not indented, so it only runs once after all loop iterations are complete. The output shows that before the loop appears first. Then, for each loop iteration, we see inside the loop with the current value, followed by still inside the loop. After both iterations, after the loop is printed. This demonstrates how indentation controls which statements are repeated inside a loop, and which run only once, before or after the loop. Counting down with for loops. A for loop can also be used to count backwards. This is helpful when you need to process items in reverse order. In Python, you achieve this by specifying a starting value, an ending value, and a negative step for counting down. Here is a typical countdown loop. This code uses range to start at 5, stop before 0, and decrease by 1 each time. Each number is printed on a new line. This allows you to easily create a countdown sequence in your programs. The output displays the numbers 5 down to 1, each on its own line. This shows how counting down with a for loop works in practice. What is I in a for loop? In a for loop, the variable, often called I, takes each value from the sequence, one at a time. It acts as a counter or represents the current item the loop is processing. This code demonstrates the idea. For I in range 5, print I. Here, I begins at 0 and increases by 1 each time, continuing until it reaches 4. The output is row 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to use I as the variable name. Any name will work. Understanding range. Start, stop, step. The range function in Python generates a sequence of numbers. It can accept up to 3 arguments: a starting value, an ending value, and an optional step. Here, we see an example where we count down from 10 to 2, decreasing by 2 each time. This code uses a for loop with range, starting at 10, ending before 0, and stepping by -2. Each value in the sequence is printed. The output displays the numbers 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2, each on a new line. This shows how the range function can be used to generate sequences in reverse order with a custom step. Iterating over strings. Iterating over strings allows you to process each character individually. This makes it easy to analyze or manipulate text in Python and is commonly achieved using a for loop. Here, we have a string variable called message set to hello. The for loop goes through each character in the message, one at a time. For each character, it prints the character itself, followed by its Unicode code point, using the ORD function. This shows how you can access both the character and its corresponding numerical representation, which is useful for text analysis, encoding, or other manipulations. The output displays each character from the word hello, along with its Unicode value. For example, H corresponds to 72, E to 101, and so on for each letter. This approach provides a straightforward way to examine the underlying numerical values of characters within a string. Using for loops with lists. In Python, for loops enable you to iterate through each item in a list. This is useful when you need to process every element, such as performing calculations or displaying values. Here, we have a list called fruits containing 3 items: apple, banana, and cherry. The for loop goes through each fruit in the list and prints its name. This approach ensures that every item is handled in turn, making it efficient to work with collections of data. When this code is run, the output displays each fruit on a separate line: apple, banana, and cherry. This demonstrates how a for loop can be used to access and display all elements in a list.